I'm just thinking about just life in general and my life in particular, and his his life. That in terms of our eyes, we're taught to judge according to appearances, as opposed to judge not according to appearances. It might appear that his life is short, but he made some impact to those of us who love him and still do. And I think that life, it serves us notice that there's a song that Celeste Johnson, a business partner, she sings, live each day. To live each day. Some people have a day, have a week, have 20 years, 40 years. My case, I'm in my 77th year on the planet. And what it has done for me, I get to, with the time that I have left, to honor him with the life that I have left, to live full and to live this life empty, to live the rest of my life 100% for God, to be of service. I know he would want me to continue to change lives. And that's what I've been reflecting on. Sometimes we unconsciously, we sideline ourselves. We put ourselves on the bench because of age. And Matthew's life, he made an impact on me because it stirred something up in me that God said to me, "You're still here. I didn't call you out of the game. I didn't put you on the bench. There's more in you. You still have something else to give, something else in you that you have not expressed. That's why you're still here, because of my grace and mercy. Not to be on the couch, not in front of the television set. There's some lives that you're supposed to touch. Some people you're supposed to inspire. Some people that you're supposed to train. I'm not playing with you. Got to get back out there." And there's I always, when something happens, I ask God, what am I supposed to do with this? And what I'm supposed to do is say thank you for the time that we spent with Matthew and opening my eyes to take it to another level. And what I want to say to you, I don't know you, but as the saying goes, live each day and as if it were your last. Things are happening that we never anticipate in this day and age. It's like a repeat. When the forces of evil say, take our country back, they're talking about not taking it back politically, but turning back the hands of time. And people of conscience, of morals, people who have awareness, well, take a stand for generations that are being born today and generations yet unborn. Tanya Brown, who is Cedric Brown's wife, no relation, but she said this is a time for us to be visible, to be vocal, and to be vigilant, to be involved. And this thing called life, boy, you know that, remember that song by Dimples? If it ain't one thing, it's another. And so the three things that I like to reflect on that dropped in my spirit, as Dwight Pleasure would say. One, do what matters. Do those things that matter. Avoid unnecessary drama. Life will bring you enough drama by itself. All you have to do is just keep living. All you have to do is just keep waking up. And you're going to get a knock on the door. And life will say, it's your time now. It's your time now. You can say, who, me? Yeah, why me? I don't know, but it's your time now. And somebody said that life is like an onion. You have to peel it one layer at a time. And sometimes you cry. And I know that to be true. I know that to be true. Just connected with my birth family. Some of them were glad, but some weren't, to know me, because I was a secret. My brother and I, we were a secret. And it's painful to be rejected. If you choose to embrace it as being painful, or say to yourself, it is what it is. Whatever. And keep it moving. Don't buy into it. So that's one thing. You have to keep it moving and do your best with what you have. Next thing is, as I reflect on this my 77th year on the planet, not only doing what matters, but live the life that you. My oldest son says something that I had not thought about. He said, Dad, we've been living a blessed life. And when I think about how I got here, through effort, through time, and through doing something that's me, I encourage you to do that. Put effort and time in something that's you. Work harder on yourself than on a job. Put the energy on you. Life has no duplicate, and it has no guarantees. Live it on your terms. I wanted to see the world before I left the world. I've been probably to over 50 to 75 countries. And I've I believe like Helen Keller. She said life is either a daring adventure or it's boring. I truly have not lived a boring life. I got my entrepreneurial mindset, my community activist mindset, my seeing myself as an ambassador of hope from my mother, Dorothy Bell Rucker, and Beulah Rucker. And I got having a good time from this dude named Doc Oliver Randolph. That was my father. So that's the only story I heard about him. Okay. I got the best of them and the worst of him. They say he's a clean cut dude. I mean, he dressed meticulously, and he was a handsome dude, and he was a ladies' man. That's the only stories I heard about him. I have heard a now other story, as Baba would say. but but my birth mother, Dorothy Bell, oh my God. She was a teacher, she was a singer, she taught Sunday school, Bible classes, she was a motivational speaker, she inspired and motivated people. She's a bad lady. She was something else, all right? And so I got the best of her and the worst of him. so I'm glad to still be here to serve God and to live a life that's my truth, the real me, not the one that I bought into based upon my environment and my circumstances and things I picked up in the streets. The real me, and living a life of contribution. Made a lot of mistakes. Had a lot of failures, a lot of disappointments. But I'm like the lady who said, Lord, I ain't what I want to be, ain't what I'm going to be. And thank God, I sure ain't what I was. And I'm scooting my way to success. My son John Leslie, he's come up with this new concept. Scoot your way to success. And so, the other thing is, not only must you do what matters, avoid creating unnecessary drama, do what's you, do you, find something that resonates with your heart, and master it. Master it. But the other thing that's important too, and please listen to me closely, be on a talent hunt. A talent hunt, looking for people who have skills, who have talents, who have abilities that you don't have, who are strong where you are weak. That's important. This is no time to try and do this thing called life by yourself. No time. You want to organize a community of collaborative, achievement-driven, supportive relationships. Become involved with a community of people that's going in your direction. That's why we started Hungry to Speak. And I've got a new group I've started, and if you're interested in, it's called Les at let me write it. I just started this, and I came up with this concept because I want to work with a small group of people, and that I can coach up close and personal, like my mother did. I've been talking to people, did some interviews with people from Gainesville, Georgia, who she coached and mentored. And one of them, she's an evangelist and happened to be a grand cousin on my father's side. Uh, and so I'm going to do that. I said, you know what? I want to do that. She was among a small group of kids that she worked with. And she's been telling me stories about my mother that I found fascinating. And she said, there's no way anybody who saw you and been around you can deny that you are Dorothy Bell's son. If you're interested in being coached by me, just reach out to me, Les at coachmelesbrown.com. coachmelesbrown.com. I talked to a grandniece day before yesterday, and I said, do you think that my birth mother, Dorothy Bell, did she ever see me on public television or when I had my talk show? She said, She said, I remember when I was 12 years old, and when they introduced you on television, my Aunt Carrie, which was my mother's sister, asked, Dorothy, how do you feel when you see your boy on television? How do you feel when you're looking at your son? We've seen him several times now. And I asked, what did she say? And she said she just held her hand up just for Carrie to be quiet until the end of your presentation. And she said, I'm proud of it. I'm proud of it. I said, wow. What are the chances that you were there on that day and you and I having this conversation? Look at God. So I know she saw me. I know she was aware of who I became. I don't believe it, I know it, because now I have people that can verify that. When you're adopted, it's like a missing piece to the puzzle, you know? Dorothy Bell, she gave me life, but Mamie Brown taught me how to live life. But there are things that's in me. When I look in the mirror, because of the pictures that I've seen of my birth mother, I can't see but anything but her face. Say, oh my God, there she is. And I've always wanted it to. I said, God, let me see a picture. Let me hear a voice. And I have a recording of her doing a poem. And I have a picture of her. And I look at that picture and I look at me. I said, it'd be criminal for her to say, that's not mine. I look like she made me all by herself. So I got my song, y'all heard it. I got two mothers and I'm not ashamed. I've got two mothers and I love them just the same. This thing called life. So I was just reflecting. Find something that's you and give it all you have. Live life on your terms. Make yourself stand out. And do what matters. don't get caught up in the trivial things of life, the busyness of life. Sometimes we get so busy we think we're being productive, and all we're doing is wasting time. Time is a currency. And do some deep thinking and reflection of who you should be in and out of the pandemic. What does the next greatest version of yourself look like? That's what I'm reflecting on. That's what I'm thinking about. Pouring all that life into the life that my great-grandson Matthew did not get to live. I'm sure he's saying on the other side with Malik, "Go get him, Papa." That's what my grands call me, Papa. I don't know you, but I know this to be true. You're here for a purpose. You were chosen at this point in time to do the greater work, to create a better world for our children and for our children's children, to plant seeds for trees that we will not sit under and gather shade. Because we're here because somebody made a sacrifice. People went to jail, they lost their lives, stripped of everything. So you're not here by any accident, and if you're still breathing, not taking a dirt nap, if you can hear me, God has something else for you to do. I don't know how. Don't worry. Just make yourself available and say, "Here I am, Lord." Just say yes, as Shekinah Gloria would say. And just pour yourself into the mindset of, "Lord, rescue me from myself. Deliver me from myself so that I can live for you. Liberate me. Point me in the direction of my exodus," as Donald Lawrence would say. You have something special. Those are my thoughts, my reflections.
I want to talk about that, writing a new chapter. So you've talked about the little voice that people have, the need to create quiet space to hear that. Combine that with the notion of the culture sort of chipping away at people, and whether it's based on race and oppression, or whether it's just the school system teaching you to be a good cog in the machine, or whatever other things people have to fight against. How can people that are listening to this now, especially if they're an adult that's got all those labels put on them, that's had their creativity squished, what process do they do to hear the voice? What sort of communion can they do to create that imagination that's going to allow them to get out of that and move towards something new?
That's the reason why you designed this program, you and your team, for them to do that they have to expose themselves to something that will give them a different vision of themselves. And in addition to that, they have to put themselves in a community of what I call OQP, only quality people. A gentleman who dramatically transformed my life. I was a junior at Booker T. Washington High School in Miami, Florida, and I went in his class looking for another friend, and he said, "Go to the board and work this problem out for me." I said, "Sir, I can't do that." He said, "Why not?" I said, "I'm not one of your students." He said, "Do it anyhow." And the other kids started laughing, saying, "He's Leslie, he's DT." And he said, "What's DT?" His brother is smart, but he's the dumb twin. And I said, "I am, sir." And he came from behind his desk and he pointed at me. He said, "Don't you ever say that again. Someone's opinion of you does not have to become your reality." And he taught me three things. He said, if you want to become successful in life, young man, he said, number one, you got to change your mindset.
He said, you don't get in life what you want, you get in life what you are. Number 2, practice OQP, only quality people. You earn within $2,000 to $3,000 of your closest friends. I found that out. I left all my broke friends. I said, y'all gotta go. Because I used to be so broke, I'd pass the bank and trip the alarm, you know? And the third thing he said, develop your communication skills, because once you open your mouth, you tell the world who you are. He said those are 3 major things that you want to work on that will liberate you from living in Liberty City, living in poverty and Overtown. It will help to escape out of where you are right now, because I see you watching me and I know you want more. I can see the hunger in your eyes. That's why my book is about to come out called You Gotta Be Hungry.
I love that notion. I love that title. So how do people get hungry?
You get hungry by finding something that's you. I believe that all of us are born unique, but most of us die copies. You got to find out what is it that turns you on, what resonates with you. One of the things that I realized and what allowed me to become successful as a speaker, the speaking industry has been hijacked by people who speak to sell, and it's okay to do that and make money. I speak to change lives because somebody spoke and changed my life. So this is my passion. This is my drive. This is something that I feel in my heart. And so the key to that hunger-driven life is a heart-centered life. I didn't do what I'm doing for years because of my programming, because of the culture in which I was raised in. I would see other people with degrees and PhDs and MBAs and credentials I don't have, and I convinced myself I couldn't do it. But Mr. Washington, on that day, we became friends, and he taught me not only someone's opinion of you does not have to determine your reality. He said that you have to work on yourself and you have to have an unstoppable attitude, and no excuse is acceptable, and you got to make it a priority, a non-negotiable in your life, and hold a constant vision of what it is you want to achieve. See it accomplished and go all out. Find a way to win. In spite of the setbacks, in spite of the disappointments, in spite of your failures. I tell people when I'm giving presentations, you will fail your way to success. I have a saying, as life knocks you down, try and land on your back, because if you can look up, you can get up. And so those experiences of going after goals that's beyond your comfort zone, and having relationships that will challenge you, and surrounding yourself with coaches and mentors who can take you to a place within yourself that you can't go by yourself, because you can't read the label when you're locked in the box. And so those experiences, they challenge you to go to that next level and continue to move forward in your life, doing new and exciting things that eye has not seen, ear has not heard, nor has entered the heart of mankind what God has in store for you when you live a heart-centered life, deciding that you're going to live a life that will outlive you. You're going to live a life that counts, a life that will build a legacy and change the planet. You know, Horace Mann said, we should be ashamed to die until we've made some major contribution to humankind. And so my goal is to make a major contribution to humankind. I am a father of 10, 5 boys and 5 girls. I'm suing the people who came up with the rhythm method. The rhythm method don't work. You know, I've got rhythm, but the rhythm method does not work, okay? And I have 15 grandchildren and 4 great-grandsons. And so every day when I get up, my mindset is, what is it that I can do to touch and impact somebody's life today? What is it? What does that look like? Like seeing you, I'm so excited. I started doing push-ups. I said, well, I'm going to go on. He's going to see that I got muscles too.
Man, what you've done with your mental muscles is so extraordinary. I don't know that you need to worry about anything else.
I want to talk to you about this place where we are. Sunday is Easter. And at this time of the year, it's about new beginnings. Remember, it seemed like it was just yesterday when it was January the 1st and we made resolutions, and studies indicate that only 8 out of 100 people kept their resolutions and made the goals and dreams they set for themselves become a reality. But they're 92% that they did not do that. They forgot it as fast as they claimed it. But for those of you that are serious, my message is not for everybody. My message is for that 8%. Those are the people that are serious. He that hath shall get, and he that hath not, even that he has shall be taken away. I want to talk to people who are ambitious. I want to talk to people to listen to me that are not willing to settle for life as it is. I want to talk to people who want to live life. It's one thing to survive, but what it takes to live, that requires a different set of skills. So one thing that I'm encouraging you to do, that I'm doing, is I'm taking time to work on me and to get to know more about me. Because if you don't know who you really are, as opposed to the kind of person you were before the world got its hands on you, if you don't know that, and you've bought into the culture that is designed to destroy your sense of self, when you don't have a sense of self, when you don't have a strong identity, that takes away your purpose and the meaning of your life, and that puts you on a path of self-destructive behavior. That's why you see so many young people, and you look at it and say, you know what? Aliens do exist, and they don't know how to pull their pants up. So as you look at yourself, take the time and ask yourself, as you are living this life that you're living, is this me? Is this working for me? You ever been in a relationship that the relationship was working for the other person, but it wasn't working for you? You were in a relationship with somebody that's always there when they need you, but when you need them, they can't be found. It's a time for self-awareness. It's a time to elevate your relationships and your knowledge and your skills and the value that you bring. New beginnings. We always have a choice. Every day represents something that we can claim and say, I'm going to make the rest of my life the best of my life. Hey, it is true that we have at any moment in our lives, we can change directions. I was upset about something, and my business partner, he said to me, don't get angry, just be decisive. Don't get angry. Somebody betrayed my trust, somebody that I loved and believed in and had their back, and I thought they had mine, and it did not happen that way. Has that ever happened to you? And so I had to rethink the relationships that I have. And I had to ask the question, who can I count on and who should I count out? Because at the end of the day, this thing called life is like an elevator. The higher you go up, you have to stop and let some people off. Who is it in your life, as you just think about it right now, that you need to open the door for and stand there till you get off? So that they don't cramp your style, so that they don't toxify and pollute your mind with their toxic behavior. Yeah, we have to promise ourselves to hold ourselves to a higher standard. We pray as if everything depends upon God, but work as if everything depends upon us. Those are the words of Mary McLeod Bethune. You have something special, a time for new beginnings, to do inventory of yourself, to get access to the unlimited potential that's waiting for you to tap into it. As Dr. Miles Monroe would say, to rob the cemetery of your dreams, of your gifts, of your leadership, of your books, of your music. Yeah, you You're here for a reason. There's something that would not be here. You're a missing piece of the puzzle. God needed your presence here at this point in time for our children and our children's children and for generations yet unborn. The time for new beginnings. What a blessing. We're here all because of God's grace and mercy. I say to you, honor yourself by looking at your life, taking personal inventory, and be honest with yourself. Ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. And decide that you're going to upgrade your environment. Your environment affects you. Your environment, it can change you. Your environment matters. It begins to affect how you see yourself, and how you see yourself will be represented in your thoughts and your actions and the achievements that you make or you don't make. This is a time that requires new skills, new thinking, and a hunger to live your greatest life. You have something special. You have greatness in you. I want you to like this page and share it. I got a message for you. It was something that's on my mind. I want to share with you on this beautiful, beautiful day. This is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. I want you to think about the fact that this is the fourth quarter. The fourth quarter. And I want you to think about finishing strong and preparing for 2023. And something that I'm encouraging you to do, and I want you to like this page and share it. I want you to ask yourself some questions, and just about three. One of them, where you are right now, is it what you anticipated when you started the year off? Is it in alignment with your resolutions? Because if you follow what I'm going to share with you, if you are willing to give up who you've been, the negative people, the thoughts, and the choices that's produced what you now have, if it does not measure up to your level of expectation. And you know, as Einstein said, insanity is doing the same thing in the same way, expecting a different outcome. If you want to create a different outcome, you got to do some things differently. You got to change some relationships. You got to do what Celeste Johnson say, Operation Clean Slate. You got to get some people out of your life. You got to come out from among the people where you are. You know, people who earn $15, $20, $30, $40, $50,000, $100,000 a month don't hang out with people who earn $5,000 and $7,000 a month. No, you got to upgrade your relationships. One of the things when I began to understand the statement, come out from among them, I left Miami on a Greyhound bus. I had too many poor people in my life. Okay, family members and friends. I had to get out of there. Why? God said to Abraham, get up and go to a new land. Sometimes you've got to change where you are. A place, you got a place that is your place. Trust me on this. The things that I've accomplished, I would have never accomplished those things in Miami. I had to go to some other place. You have a divine place. And there are certain relationships you'll never, ever do anything with those people. Why? Because they're not the one. Where you are is your rightful place, where your thoughts, your thinking, and your choices have brought you. Where you can be is your true place. Come on, somebody. I'm coming. Just slow down. Just slow down. I'm coming. I'm coming. Yeah. I mean, think about it. It's this fourth quarter. And so you want to look at your life and say, wait a minute, what got me here? Because you don't want to get to the end of 2022 and say, oh my God, I didn't do all the things that I was capable of doing. No. Evaluate, because there are certain places, there are certain choices, there's certain behaviors, there's certain people that you just don't need to be a part of your life. Let me give you an example in my own life. Like, for instance, I got up this morning and I take the medication that they had placed me on. Notice I didn't say my medication. I'm not claiming it. The medication they put me on. My goal before the end of the year is to be off all medication. What major goal do you have before the end of the year so that you can look back and say that 2022 brought out the best in you? I'm not asking you to have 4 and 5 different things that you're focused on. I'm just saying to you and just requesting what major area of your life in mind. I'm focusing on my health, mine making cancer history, mine getting off all this medication. I've been able to get off my insulin. Why? Because I'm focused. I want you to put down focus. Focus on one thing that's important to you, one thing that will make a dramatic difference in your life, one thing that when you accomplish that, you can pat yourself on the shoulder and say, I've done good. Because at the end of the day, life is about choices. Choose ye this day whom ye shall serve. But most of us, and I'm using myself as an example, for a long time, I was just coasting toward an accelerated end. I just decided I'm going to be mindful. I don't want to take medication for the rest of my life. I don't want to be sticking myself for the rest of my life. Then what are you going to do about it? I dramatically began to focus and tune everything else out, saying my health is my wealth. That sounds nice, rhymes, nice. And I'm backing it up with action. I'm mindful of what I eat. I'm mindful of my state of mind. I'm mindful of my peace. What is it you're going to do? What differently? How you're going to show up? We're in the fourth quarter. And I want you to write this down. It's time to close chapters and turn the page. Come on, somebody. Yes, it's time. There's some chapters you need to close. They've gone beyond their expiration date. Some people come in your life for a season, some for a reason, and some for a lifetime. And when I made a list of the people that I communicate with, there's some calls I don't take anymore. Why? Because it's a gimme call. Yeah. That if you look at it, the majority of your calls are gimme calls. There's a limited number of people saying, hey, I got something for you. Just look at the ratio. Look at it. Evaluate it. You have people who are always there when they need you. Life ain't playing with us, and we don't need to be playing with life. Come on, I'm telling you, I'm not making this stuff up. Life is for laughing, loving, and living. It doesn't have to be all that complicated. I'm telling you, this is the time you don't want people who get on your last nerve and stress you out being around you or in your ear. Come out from among them. And don't try to change them. A person changed against their will is of the same opinion still. That they are okay just as they are. You have no right to weigh in on how they live their lives. I don't care if it's your children or your family members, friends. No, people got a choice. That's what God has given us all, a choice. And their choices, a friend of mine, Patricia Wingard out of Columbus, Ohio, the choices and consequences. Listen to me. Listen to the old rascal. Yes, I've been on the planet for 77 years. I know some stuff. Now listen, I'm looking for some people. I'm looking for the few. This is not for everybody. I'm just looking for the few. You know what I decided to do? What did you decide to do? I'm going to build a culture of greatness. People who have goals and dreams, people who want to do something dramatically different with their lives, who want to finish the year strong, people who want to get a jump start on 2023, people who have things that they want to accomplish to improve their health, improve their relationships, get a game plan and a blueprint on how they can begin to bring out the greatness in them. If that's you, touch the link above. That's all. It's not for everybody. It's because, see, and here's something that we must learn to do, and it's not easy. Learn how to become an observer. I've learned how, and it took some time because they call me an empath. Most people, ladies and gentlemen, won't participate in their own rescue. I have a friend, I did some videos on people who've made dramatic changes in their lives and who had lost a lot of weight, and they had instructions on how they did it. So I said this to a friend of mine, weigh over 400 pounds. You know, she asked me, "Are you calling me fat?" I said, "No." I didn't call you nothing. I just sent you some stuff that I thought maybe that you might be interested in. No, I did not call you fat. And I'm saying to myself, did this person ask me that question? This person who came to my house and sat in the chair, broke and said, "Oh, hell no." The chair broke. The chair said, "What the hell's going on here?" I'm sorry. You can't make this stuff up. Okay, you can't make Anywho. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm having a hot flash. I call it my power surge. So if you like to have fun, if you want to learn how I earned my first million against all odds, you ever hear politicians talk about the middle class? They never talk about the 1%. They don't want you to become the 1%. I'm a part of the population who's earned over $1 million. That's just 1% of the population who's done that. I've done that. You come into the community, if you give me 1 year with you, see, your network, and George Frazier said this best, your network determines your net worth. Did you hear what I just said? Your network determines your net worth. And when you're in a community with me, with like-minded people that are focused on their dreams and improving themselves, people who are tuning out the negative, toxic behavior and people that will compromise your power. We have energy, all of us. That energy, if you don't use it well, it will work against you. If you use it well, it will help you to take responsibility for your life and create the kind of life that you're proud of. I'm telling you what I know. And if that's you, come on, join me. Life is like an elevator. The higher you go up, you have to stop and let some people off because they don't want what you want. They don't dream like you dream. I remember in Chicago, I used to give this lecture at Christ Universal Temple Church, and I saw this guy come, and his wife was seated on one side, and he was on the other. And I asked him, I said, "Man," I said, "why aren't you over there with your wife?" He said, "Well, she left me because she said, I don't want anything." I said, "I'm sorry to hear that." And as I was approaching her, she said, "I heard what he said." She said, "I didn't leave him because he didn't want anything. I left him because he wasn't willing to do the things necessary to grow so we can create a different kind of life than what we had. He'd settled for where we are. And I know we can do better. He's smart, he's intelligent, but he doesn't have hunger. He doesn't have drive. He doesn't have perseverance. He doesn't want any more than what we now have. And I don't want to settle for that. I know we can do better than this. And I'm tired of arguing. Have you ever just got tired of arguing with someone that's supposed to be leading you, and they're in the back doing nothing but the same thing over and over and over again? Have you ever looked at where you are and just said, this is not me? That's what I did in Miami, in Liberty City, overtime. I just said, look, Good Bread Alley and Bucket the Blood, the expressway goes through that now. That's gone. I just said, there's got to be more. Have you, let me see some science. Let me see some fire. Have you ever said there's got to be more? I remember cleaning homes and cleaning apartments on Miami Beach. And I just said, one day I'm going to be able to stay here, not just come over here to clean up. Woo! And I've stayed in several places, several condos, hotels, and whatsoever you can think of. See, life is about having the courage to make your life a daring adventure. Live before you die. Life ain't playing with us. Decide that you're going to take life on. Stormy, I like to refer to her as Dr. Stormy Wellington. She had an event this past weekend for women. Girl, hold my hand. And it was an eye opener. It was one that caused the women there to dream a bigger dream. Most people don't have any dreams at all. They're just working to survive. What it takes to live and what it is required for surviving are two different things. These are people who said, you know, I'm taking a chance on me. I don't know if I'm going to make it or not, but I'm going to walk by faith and not by sight. I'm reaching for the greater in me. Greater is he that's in you than he that's in the world. I'm willing to upgrade my relationships. I'm willing to step away from the life that I've been living so that I can begin to create the life that I deserve. Have you ever seen people and you ask yourself the question, how can they live like that? Here's what I learned. When you stay in a toxic, negative environment over a long period of time, you have to ask yourself the question, what kind of person have I become because of this? Because that abnormal environment will become your new normal. You stay there long enough, you won't even realize at some point in your life you'd have found that repulsive. I had an apartment that I had near the airport, and I rented it from a friend of mine, Jackie Collier. And I said, girl, I can't stay here. Listen to these airplanes coming over constantly. She said, you stay here long enough, I guarantee you won't hear it. She did not lie. And people who would come visit me said, how can you stay here? And these airplanes flying constantly, don't you hear it? And I said, no, because I'd been there so long, I had tuned it out. You can be in an abusive relationship so long that it becomes your new normal. You can be in a situation and an environment that's beneath you, and you be there so long that it becomes you. It's one thing to be in something, it's something else when that something gets in you. The only people that can hear me are the people who've said in their heart of hearts, and where your heart is, there your treasures also, I can do better than this. If that's you, if you're on fire to go to another level, push the link on above. You just give me 1 year with your life and I guarantee you'll never be the same again. No, I owe it to you. I owe it to you. I know, I don't know how much time I have left, but I know God did not have me to be born and preserved for such a time as this, just to go to my grave and take everything I've learned with me. He who has ear, let him hear, let her hear. I'm just speaking to the few. Did you hear me? I am speaking to the few.